What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop. So we are currently in a very dry period in terms of Pokemon news. It seems most people are expecting some sort of announcement or hint towards a new game this year, but there is no sign whatsoever that that will be happening soon. However, this time of slow news can also be a very fun time for speculation, where we as fans can let our imaginations run wild and are free to think of what we would like to see from Pokemon moving forward. As a matter of fact, I think I know a guy that's pretty good at this sort of thing.
Well, hello there, Pokemon Masters, Hoops and Hip Hop. I hope you don't mind me jumping in on your video, but as you say, I love to speculate and theorize about Pokemon, and I'd love to discuss with you more about Pokemon Stars and what the story could be. Pokemon Stars, like its name suggests, could well be like some kind of middle game, like Emerald or Platinum version or Crystal even. Some kind of middle game / sequel to Pokemon Sun and Moon, and so that's the idea we're going to explore today. But just remember, as we say, this is all incredibly speculative. We could be right on bits, we could be completely wrong, and it's all fine, it's all just for fun. So if that sounds good to you, let's take a look at the potential story for Pokemon Stars.
So all things considered, we think this game could work well as a sequel to Sun and Moon taking place a few years later. These games would star a brand new protagonist, and would be preparing to take on the Island Challenge just like Sun and Moon before them. As you go throughout the game, you'll probably begin to notice that Team Skull is no longer around. This is obviously because they were disbanded during the events of the previous games. The Aether Foundation, however, is still around, and this time they are completely dedicated to helping Pokemon, with Gladion still as the acting president. It wouldn't be any fun if there wasn't someone creeping around in the shadows though, and someone within the Aether Foundation is working behind the scenes to restore the organization to its former glory.
Faber, the second in command of the Aether Foundation, second in command previously to Luzamine, is secretly dedicated to returning the Aether Foundation to its former goals of trying to capture and control the Ultra Beasts. He has gathered a few like-minded members, and underneath the skin of the new Aether Foundation, there is this sinister plot going on. Of course, you as the player will have to try and stop it. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, you have to do the Island Challenge, and as you get to the first Island Kahuna, you'll realize that it's not Hala anymore. Hala, in his old age, has decided to kick back and relax and take off some of the workload. In fact, he's only an Elite Four member now. Now the Kahuna of the first Island is his grandson, How.
As you go along, you'll notice a few other changes to the Island Challenge as well. Acerola has also decided to become a full-time member of the Elite Four, leaving her role as trial captain to be filled by a new original character. Nanu has also retired from being a Kahuna, and his role will also be filled by a new character, possibly a relative. Don't worry though, Nanu will still be kicking around in the game as he was in charge of the renovation project to revitalize Po Town, which is now inhabited by the public again and looks good as new. Finally, you'll also notice that Mina, the Fairy-type trial captain, actually has her trial put together this time around in the vast Pony Canyon.
But as nice as this all is, it won't be smooth sailing for you as you uncover Faber and his secret motives as he's trying to get back the Ultra Beasts and control them. Now, because their attempt before with Type Null completely failed, they're now looking to use Necrozma. This is because it's thought to have some kind of connection to the Ultra Beasts, and not only that, it's a pure Psychic type, and Psychic type is the type that Faber specializes in. So he's got a good chance of taking over the mind of this Pokemon. He would also likely have an immense knowledge about Necrozma and things related to it, given his position in the Aether Foundation and their previous research topics.
With his knowledge, Faber uses the Beast Boost aura that comes from Ultra Space in order to lure out Necrozma, and ultimately he captures it. With their plan now in full swing, Gladion attempts to stop them with his Silvally, but ultimately he is defeated. As time goes on, however, Necrozma becomes more and more agitated thanks to its extremely vicious disposition as stated in the Pokédex, and lashes out against Faber in pursuit of the Ultra Beasts. A huge battle then ensues between all of the Ultra Beasts and Necrozma, which tears open a huge dimensional rift in the sky, and before long, a large rumbling can be heard in the distance.
Before long, complete Zygarde will show up, and this is where it all kind of comes together. This explains why Zygarde has been around Alola in Sun and Moon with its cores scattered everywhere. Zygarde is a legendary Pokemon that maintains order and balance in the Pokemon world, and likely it sensed danger coming with all these ultra wormholes opening up. It seems that Zygarde had come to Alola and broken itself down into its cells, scattered itself across the Alola region to keep a watchful eye on whatever was coming next. But now Necrozma is here, and it will form up into perfect Zygarde form, because it has to maintain balance in the Pokemon world.
You as the player then step forward to assist Zygarde, and together you take out the Ultra Beasts one at a time, possibly in a double battle, until all that is left is Necrozma. Zygarde then tries to take on Necrozma on its own, but neither Pokemon refuses to budge. Then all of a sudden you hear someone shouting at you, and you turn around to see Lily and Lusamine approaching you. Lily introduces herself and her mother and explains that they heard Necrozma was wreaking havoc and came to help. Lusamine briefly explains how she used to research the Ultra Beasts and how she also learned some valuable information on Necrozma in the process. She then hands you the Prism Flute, an item that is capable of calming Necrozma's vicious tendencies.
You play a few notes on the old wooden flute, which causes Necrozma to calm down just a little bit, enough so that you can now challenge it to a battle and try and catch it. When the dust settles, Lily will tell you that she actually used to live in Alola with her mum, who was the former president of the Aether Foundation. She says that you should probably now challenge the Elite Four, seeing as you've completed your island trial, but she's not gonna join you. She has a special friend that she needs to visit.
So now you're ready to take on the Elite Four, and if you've played Sun and Moon before, you'll run into a lot of familiar faces. Hala, Acerola, and Kahili all return as members of the Elite Four, however there is one new face. Replacing Olivia as the final Elite Four member is ya boy Guzma. Following the lecture he received from Hala during the post-game of Sun and Moon, Hala began to mentor Guzma and taught him what it truly means to be a strong trainer. Guzma earned Hala's respect and earned a place with his bug types as a member of the Elite Four.
However, as the protagonist, it is your destiny to defeat the Elite Four, and when you do, you will face the champion. The first champion of Alola. That's right, the champion of Alola will be you from the first game, currently undefeated, awaiting a challenger as strong as, well, you are in this game to take you on. Potentially there could be some kind of data transfer or from older save files of Sun and Moon so you even battle your exact same team. And of course this battle will remind us of that time we first approached Mount Silver and battled Red, the champion of Red and Blue in the Gold and Silver games. It will be an incredibly epic battle and important for you because if you played Sun and Moon you are literally facing yourself. But you will win, and you will become the next champion of Alola.
So now that you're the champion of Alola, what's next? Well, shortly after your victory, you'll hear from Professor Kukui that you've been invited to Aether Paradise. Upon answering the invitation, Lusamine will greet you and thank you for your work in protecting the region. She will then tell you she has a gift for you and presents you with two flutes, the Sun Flute and the Moon Flute. You can probably recall that these are the flutes used to call Solgaleo and Lunala, and depending on which one you choose will determine which one you are able to catch later on.
From here, you will make your way to the altar of the Sun and Moon, and you will run into Lily, who explains that she's still looking for her friend. She notices the flute that you have, and she also has a flute. You both stand on opposite sides of the altar and play the flute. And then we hear a roar, and depending on the one you've got, either Lunala or Solgaleo appears. But of course, this is not just any Lunala or Solgaleo. Lily calls out, "Nebby, my friend, you're here! It's been so long!" This is Nebby from the first game, and it will communicate with Lily, and Lily will say, "I think Nebby wants to battle you." This is obviously your opportunity to catch the Pokemon, and again, like in Sun and Moon, you will be able to travel to the parallel dimension to get another Cosmog.
So that's our potential story for Pokemon Stars. I thought it turned out pretty good overall, but I recognize that there are still some things that need to be ironed out. So if there's something that you'd like to add to the story or something you'd like to change about it, be sure to let us know with a comment below. Toby and I have also come up with a theory over on his channel about AZ's Floette and what it could mean for the next Pokemon games. So be sure to check that out by clicking the link in the description. You are definitely not going to want to miss it. If you're here from Toby's channel, be sure to subscribe if you're new because I create great Pokemon content that I upload every Tuesday and Saturday. Anyways, I will be back with another video soon, and until then, as always, I'll smell you guys later.